You are watching the Friday edition of Platinum Northwest TV News. Good evening and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Philadelphia Mangoeng. Let's take a quick look at the leading top stories. First up, the ONALENNA SELEBOGO case has hit yet another postponement, and the MODIRI district municipality offices raided. In the business news, the G20 town hall puts just transition in the spotlight, and in the sports news, Paris looks to reel in Mamelodi Sundowns. We begin here. The quest for justice for slain Northwest University student ONALENNA SELEBOGO hit another delay today. Now her murder case, which has become a painful symbol of South Africa's gender-based violence crisis, was briefly back in the Rustenburg Magistrates Court yesterday. The last confirmed court action was the dramatic denial of bail to the accused, 29-year-old Walter Tshehlo. In late August, Tshehlo, who was Selebogo's boyfriend, had been charged with her murder after her body was found with multiple stab wounds on August the 3rd.
Tshehlo appeared briefly on the 30th of October. He remains in custody and the matter has once again been postponed, this time to December the 11th. The purpose of the 2-month delay is to allow the state to finalize its investigation. This includes receiving all outstanding forensic reports to ensure the prosecution is ready for trial. The continued postponements are often a painful reality for victims' families who are desperate for justice process to move forward. Violence groups were present at the courthouse, reaffirming their commitment to support the Selebogo family. The nation now awaits for December the 11th, hoping it will mark a definitive step toward the trial in this tragic case.
Moving on to other news now, the South African Police Service Special Task Force members have confiscated some documents from the embattled MODIRI district municipality in Mahikeng on Thursday. Law enforcement stormed into the municipal offices and closed the gates before conducting the search. Even though the details surrounding the search are still unclear, the SAPS National Police spokesperson Brigadier Athlenda Mathe said the search was part of an ongoing investigation regarding corruption, fraud and maladministration at the municipality. There are irregular expenditure allegations regarding the 10 billion rand allocation for water and sanitation. Meanwhile, the executive mayor of the MODIRI district municipality, Khumalo Molefe, issued a statement stating that they can confirm that the SAPS conducted a search and seizure operation informed by allegations leveled against officials. Now, Molefe also said the municipality sincerely apologizes for the inconvenience that this has caused to critical municipal services, but they had to allow due processes to unfold.
Yesterday, National Intervention Unit raided MODIRI MOLEMA with the intention to seize laptops, documents and cell phones. They entered the municipality and closed all the entrance and the exit of the MODIRI MOLEMA district municipality. No one was allowed to go out or to gain access to the municipality. All the employees or staff was kept inside the building. There was a list where names were mentioned of the officials within MODIRI MOLEMA district municipality. One of the officers that we know is the supply chain, and then MODIRI MOLEMA district mayor's office, and also the manager and others. So all their laptops, cell phones and documents were seized.
The operations led by the SAPS, National Cold Case Investigators and Special Task Force members relates to a search and seizure operation. It's about allegations of ongoing investigations on corruption, fraud and maladministration in the MODIRI MOLEMA district municipality. This is just the first phase of many operations to come on addressing these allegations. The investigations are at an advanced and sensitive stage. No further comment will be provided at this stage.
In more news, the KLERKSDORP Magistrates Court has postponed the case against 40-year-old Richard Zita to the 19th of November for his first appearance in the Specialized Commercial Crimes Court sitting in KLERKSDORP. He is charged with one count of fraud. It is alleged that last year, November, Zita falsely presented himself as an employee of Apex Edge Construction when applying for vehicle finance at Ford Service in KLERKSDORP.
Investigations revealed that Zita allegedly forged an employment contract and submitted other fraudulent documents as part of his application for a Ford Ranger double cab, model of 2024. His application was approved and he subsequently entered into a finance agreement with Ford Finance to purchase the vehicle valued at over 700,000 Rand. On the 15th of November 2024, he signed an online contract with the dealership. The employment contract he submitted states that he was employed as a manager at the Apex Edge Construction from the 1st of November 2024. The state alleges that Zita knew the representations were false and intended to mislead the complainants to their prejudice. In court, Zita has been granted a bail of 15,000 Rand.
And on to this now, Minister of Social Development CCC Tolashe conducted Social Development Month today in HUHUDI, VRYBURG, leading a major intergovernmental outreach aimed at cutting through red tape and resolving urgent community issues. The focus was on the most vulnerable and delivering immediate assistance and resolving backlogs in person. Top of the agenda was the social grant applications and reviews, including critical issues concerning the COVID-19 social relief of distress grant. The minister, together with Northwest MEC for Social Development, SASSA CEO, DSD Director General, conducted a walkabout and oversight visit at the Naledi SASSA local office in VRYBURG. The program was a joint effort with officials from Home Affairs and the Department of Health. Dedicated community interfaces were set up to address substance abuse and gender-based violence. The Tsakani Regional Court has sentenced a 47-year-old man to 4 life terms for 4 counts of rape of a 13-year-old minor. The court ordered the sentences to run concurrently with his name added to the National Register for Sexual Offences and declared him unfit to work with children. From December 2015 until April 2016, on 4 different occasions when the child would go to her elderly grandmother's place in Tsakani Extension 13, to assist with some house chores, the family friend, who is also a neighbor, would call the child to his place, rape her, and threaten to kill her if she told anyone. The rape incidents continued until she fell pregnant. NPA Regional Spokesperson Lumka Mahanjana has more.
The Tsakani Magistrates Court sentenced a family friend to the victim to 4 life terms for 4 counts of rape of a 13-year-old girl who was already suffering with cancer. The court ordered that the sentence should run concurrently and his name be added on the National Register for Sexual Offenders and he be declared unfit to work with children. Between December 2015 and April 2016, on 4 different occasions, the family friend raped the child, impregnated her, and infected her with HIV. This was discovered when the child had gone to the doctor for her regular cancer treatment, when the doctor discovered that the minor was already 6 months pregnant and had contracted HIV. In court, the state successfully argued for life imprisonment for all counts of rape. The NPA welcomes the sentence in hopes that the sentence will serve as a deterrent to all wannabe offenders. This sentence demonstrates the NPA's commitment to prosecuting cases of gender-based violence.
Moving on to international news now, at least 15 people were taken to a hospital after a drop in altitude on a JetBlue flight forced an emergency landing Thursday in Tampa. Now, JetBlue flight 1230 and Airbus 320 departed Cancun International Airport in Mexico and was headed to New Jersey's Newark Liberty International Airport when it landed around 2 p.m. Eastern Time at Tampa. Now, JetBlue said that the aircraft experienced a drop in altitude and the flight was met by medical personnel who evaluated customers and crew members, and those needing additional care were transported to a local hospital. The airline did not immediately say how many people were injured. Now, the flight disruption comes amid a stressful environment for air travel as the month-long government shutdown raises staffing issues for air traffic controllers and fuel flights delays, all while the holiday travel season looms. The FAA said it's investigating the flight control issue, and it's unclear if the National Transportation Safety Board will also investigate. In more international news now, hospital officials in Gaza says that Israel has handed over the bodies of 30 Palestinians a day after Palestinian militants in Gaza turned over the remains of 2 hostages to Israel. Officials at Nasser Hospital in the southern city of Khan Yunis confirmed receiving the bodies but did not immediately say what state they were in or identify them. The exchange of Palestinian remains of hostage remains is the latest indication that fraught Israel-Hamas ceasefire agreement is moving forward. Despite deadly Israeli strikes on Gaza this week, before Friday's release, Israel had returned the bodies of 195 Palestinians to authorities in Gaza without providing details on their identities. It is unclear if the bodies returned by Israel were killed in Israel during October 7th attack, died in Israel custody as detainees, or were recovered by Gaza by the troops during the war. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said that late Thursday the remains that were returned by Palestinian militants had been confirmed as those of Sahar Baruch and Amiram Cooper, both taken hostage during the attack by Hamas that set off the war. And with that, let's take a quick look now at the business news. In the business news, a major G20 outreach event brought the global economic conversation directly to a crucial local community. Yesterday's town hall in Rustenburg underscored a core goal of South Africa's G20 presidency, ensuring that global policy decisions translate into tangible, equitable local development. The Rustenburg Civic Center yesterday buzzed with activity hosting a G20 town hall outreach, a program that is focused squarely on inclusive economic growth and just transition for sustainable societal development. This event, part of South Africa's effort to take the G20 to the people, shifted the focus from high-level diplomacy to practical local implementation, particularly with the country's economic backbone. In her welcome remarks, Executive Mayor of the Rustenburg local municipality, Sheila Mabalehuma, called it not only a proud moment for South Africa, but for the entire
opportunity to host the G20. That the Rustenburg local municipality has been identified as one of the capable municipalities within the Northwest Province in Bujanala region. We are gathered here today at a time of a great significance in our country's history. South Africa is leading the G20, the world's premier platform for international economic cooperation, for the very first time. This is a proud moment not only in South Africa, but also for the entire African continent. Our presidency of the G20 under the theme Solidarity, Equality, and Sustainability marks an opportunity for us to demonstrate leadership, vision, and unity on the global stage. Ladies and gentlemen, this engagement is an opportunity to strengthen ties, advance collaboration, and ensure that global economic policies translate into meaningful opportunities for our communities. It is also a symbolic gesture, a recognition of the role that Rustenburg plays in shaping the broader economic landscape of South Africa and the African continent. We are truly honored to host this prestigious gathering under the banner of G20 Outreach Program, a nationwide initiative that brings South Africa's G20 presidency closer to its people. And hopefully, we're going to come up with solutions that will remain and assist the municipality beyond the summit.
Now, the Rustenburg event comes as South Africa's G20 presidency accelerates towards the Main Leaders Summit in November. The insights and community mandates collected yesterday will now feed directly into the final policy negotiation, demonstrating a ground-up approach to global economic governance. In more business news for the automotive world today, Japan's Nissan Motor warns of a multi-billion-dollar loss, sending shockwaves through the global market. At the same time, here in South Africa, a potential industry-wide strike looms, threatening to bring local production to a grinding halt.
The problems for Nissan are stacking up, and investors are feeling the pain. The Japanese automaker's stock plummeted today after it forecast a massive operating loss of over $1.8 billion for the fiscal year. The company, which is already cutting thousands of jobs and shutting factories globally as part of a restructuring plan, blamed the financial woes on a combination of factors, including the impact of higher US tariffs and sluggish sales in key markets like China and the United States. It's a continuation of a struggle that has seen the company fall out of the top 10 global automakers for the first time in 2 decades.
As Nissan navigates its financial crisis and South Africa's auto industry teeters on the brink of strike, the road ahead appears bumpy for both the company and local workers. And that's all from the business news. Up next, we get the latest in the sports. In soccer news, Orlando Pirates could draw level with Mamelodi Sundowns at the top of the Betway Premiership standings when the two-side clash at Loftus Versfeld on Saturday at 3:30. Mamelodi Sundowns sit top of the table in the Betway Premiership with 21 points from 10 games, losing just 1, drawing 3 and winning 6. The reigning champions defeated Remo Stars of Nigeria 2-0 last weekend in the second leg of the CAF Champions League tie, which saw Masandawana win 7-1 on aggregate. Pirates have had a mixed season in terms of their results.
The Buccaneers have 2 games in hand in the Betway Premiership and sit just 3 points behind Sundowns on the log. They could pull level with the game in hand with a win at Loftus on Saturday. However, the Bucks crashed out of the CAF Champions League on penalties against St. Eloi Lupopo, losing on penalties in the second leg after a 3-goal comeback from the Bucks. They are back in the win column after beating reigning champions Magesi 2-1 in the curling knockout at home on Tuesday. Masandawana will also be without the injured Tembazwane, Ikram Reyners, Malibongwe Khoza and Mutobi Mvala. Pirates could receive a boost as Diano van Rooyen was on the bench for the Buccaneers on Tuesday after picking up an injury early in the season. Mamelodi Sundowns head coach Miguel Cardoso speaks.
Thank you very much to all of you. Well, I think that we all know that classic games like and this one is even a derby are always lived by people in a different way. That's exactly why we are also in a different press conference. So everything around the match is the preparation is different from the part of people, from the fans to the media, to the PSL itself in terms of organization, from the police, from the fans especially. But for the coaches, it's just another match. Our job is to prepare a match the same way, study the opponent, try to understand how the team developed. In this case, we played the Pirates in 2 draws already this season, so it's the third match we're going to play. Obviously, we have a reference, but I think that both teams developed since then, so there are new things that will be put for sure on the pitch. I just wish, obviously, that in terms of safety, that everything goes well. It's such a big game. I also Hope that Mamelodi Sundowns fans can come in numbers so that we have the support we need. And obviously I hope that we are able to have good conditions. Let's hope the rain keeps away from us. Otherwise I believe that the pitch will be very difficult to be playing good football on. And I hope the players and the coaches are able to give the show, and that the referees are on the height of such demand, because they are a very important part to keep the level of the game. Because there's some issues that have been happening, and it's important they don't happen again. The team takes the matches and the support and the fact that we feel at home in the right way. Playing home in general gives us the conditions to find a proper environment to perform. Usually, and as you know that in the PSL, usually the teams when they play Sundowns, they change their place where they play. So most of the time when we're gonna play away, we play in pitches that no one else plays. For example, we played Magazine and we went to play a pitch where no one played, just Mamelodi Sundowns played. When you go to play Polokwane, you play in a pitch that no one plays, just Sundowns plays. So when the championship is done in such organizational question, of course Sundowns has to be very strong at home if we want to compete in the other ones, because when we play away, usually we struggle a lot because we are given not the best conditions, and mostly we are not given the same conditions as the competition is getting. So I don't know why, but it seems that it's like that.
Moving on to rugby news now. Perhaps before Brighton in 2015, there was talk about a game against Japan being a warm-up opportunity for bigger tests to come, but it is unlikely there is the same peril in doing so again ahead of Saturday's first Springbok outing of the November-Autumn series. The excellent scrum half VRYBURG, who later became the Bok captain in that tournament, warned his teammates about Eddie Jones' Japan before the fateful opening game of the 2015 Rugby World Cup. Now, Japan coach Eddie Jones has made only 2 changes to his starting lineup for the test against South Africa at Wembley on Saturday. Charlie Lawrence replaces Shogo Nakano at centre, while Kenji Sato will play at hooker in place of Hayata Era in the 2 alterations that the sides suffered a narrow 19-15 defeat in Tokyo last weekend. And that's where we're going to have to wrap it up for this week. Thank you so much for watching. The team will be standing by on Monday evening. Till then, have a blessed weekend. Good night and take care.